Hello, everybody. I'm Coach Jessie, and I want to welcome you to a new episode of Detox Living, where we bring you truths, tools, and testimonials to power your toxic-free living. I am so excited about welcoming Sasha Cummings today to share her powerful story of overcoming fibroids and infertility to have her miracle baby. Sasha is a chef, an entrepreneur, and now a hope mommy. Sasha, welcome. So excited to talk to you today.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to talk to you as well.
Yay, 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 yay. So let's get into it. All right.
Okay.
In 2012, you were diagnosed with fibroids, right?
Yes.
Talk to us about how that happened. How did you find out? What led to that revelation?
Okay. So, first, I thought I had gas. I had sharp pain.
Wait. Fibroids, gas. Okay, can't wait to hear about this. Continue.
I'm from the beautiful island of Jamaica.
Uh-oh.
So, we have pain, and first thing we're thinking, it's something that you can fix at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, I drank some tea. We made some soup. Grandma gave me some things we call, tough crackers or water crackers.
Okay.
Drank a lot more tea. Then we went to the pharmacy and tried the over-the-counter, the Pepto-Bismol, whatever helped gas. 2 weeks later, it's not happening, not fixed. So the pain got worse. I ended up going to the doctor.
All right.
When I went to the doctor.
Hold on a second. Okay. So 2 weeks, you're taking medicine to heal gas.
Yes.
Right? You're doing the herbs and the tea and the leaves. So you come from a homeopathic background, right?
Yes.
Get something in the trees in the backyard, right?
Yes.
And that's not working. So you try OTC stuff. Okay, go ahead.
That did not work either. So I ended up going to the doctor, the emergency room, and they found out later that I had something that's called uterine fibroids. Now, again, I'm from a homeopathic, naturopathic background in terms of we want to know what we can do naturally to get rid of these things. I went vegetarian to try.
Connected to your faith?
Yes. I'm Seventh-day Adventist, which we have something called a health message. And we are taught basically that the healing will come from the earth and it comes from the herbs of the earth. And we know that everything for our healing is here on this earth, regardless of which part of the earth you are. There is something in your area that can heal your disease once you're connected, not only to the herb, but also to the creator of the herbs.
Awesome. So now you've gone to the doctor, the ER, because I guess you must have had very severe pain at that point.
Yes.
And you found out you had uterine fibroids.
Yes.
Okay. So had you heard about them at that point? Did you know what they were?
I did know what they were. Actually, two of my aunts had uterine fibroid. However, I did not know that they did until after I did it, because in our community, a lot of time uterine fibroid is hushed. It would be treated as if, it's something that you did while you have uterine fibroids. It's treated with shame.
So taboo. There's shame associated with it. Okay.
Yes. Like you're less of a woman because you have uterine fibroid.
My goodness. So you don't feel free to talk about it. And you basically feel like maybe like you have no help, right?
Right.
So what did the doctor say when they diagnosed you? What was the plan?
When they diagnosed me, they said they were small, so they would just watch them. And they gave me ibuprofen for the pain. That was it.
Okay, so there are two, and this is the thing we hear all the time. Oh, they're small, they don't bother you, don't bother them, which I have a major problem with, because guess what? When they're tiny, this is the time to intervene and talk about the root cause and reversing them instead of them becoming a crisis.
Right.
Let me get up off my soapbox. But the point is, this is the time for intervention. But that's
Yes.
not what happened. They just said, let's watch them.
Yes.
Now, were there any symptoms that you were experiencing that now you look back, you can see that something was going on?
Yes. Now, knowing what I do know now, I started my menses at the age of 9.
Mm,
I had terrible cramps.
mm,
It was to the point of vomiting.
mm.
During those early years, I got to the point where my mom would have to literally help me to drink 2 spoons of soup, literally 1, 2, because I was too weak to hold my head up to drink a cup of soup.
So the pain
Um,
made you vomit.
the pain made me vomit. I would go to the doctors, and it wouldn't make a difference because they gave me medication and I would vomit it
Mm,
out anyways. I would miss school every time during my period,
oh, goodness.
and the pain was very intense, at least for the first 2 days.
And this is elementary school.
That's elementary, junior
Oh,
high, high school.
okay.
By the time I got to high school, I had to go to the hospital every time because it wouldn't let me go home. I would know it's coming. I would feel it. I would tell the nurse, and they would let me wait until the pain
Crazy.
was incredible before they sent me to the hospital.
So you would go to the nurse. I just want to make sure I understand this.
Yes,
Tell them it's things are going down, basically.
yes, yes,
And they're like, well, we can't help you yet. You
yes,
have to wait till it was so bad
yes.
that they wouldn't even call your parents
Nope.
at that point. You had to wait till it was so bad that they had to send you to the hospital and have your parents meet you at the hospital.
Yes,
That's crazy.
yes.
That's crazy.
So, at the top of that, during between high school going into college, they gave me birth control. Took
Mm-hmm.
them for about a year. It wasn't helping at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the ibuprofen helped with the pain. They gave me ibuprofen. The ibuprofen helped with the pain, or helped to mask the pain. However, what was happening during those periods of time between college up until about 2012 to about 2016, it was my fibroids were growing more,
Mm.
because the bleeding increased. It left from about, regular 4 days to about 8 or 14 to 21 days of bleeding, 8 days of heavy bleeding.
Okay, so now you're at around 2016, right?
Yes,
2016, it sounds like this is where the height, your cycle was between 14 and 21 days,
yes,
8 days of heavy bleeding, where you're
yes.
changing. How often were you changing at this point?
I was changing a overnight pad about every 2 hours,
Okay.
taking ibuprofen 600 to 800 milligrams every 4 hours.
My goodness. And did you ever have um, the breakthrough bleeding that happens sometimes?
Definitely did. Very embarrassing. One day, a church brother told me,
Not a brother, not a brother. Oh,
yeah, he's like, you had an accident, you messed up yourself. And I'm like, huh? And yeah, you need to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. Luckily, I had a change of clothes, because with bleeding like that, um, you walk with extra clothes. And I was just out of my mind. I was like, I just changed my pad 2 hours ago.
my
How
God.
is it that I am overflowing my pad? Like, something has to be done. This is crazy.
Mm,
There's no way.
mm.
Um,
And the thing about it, Sasha, is that this is a conversation I have with women all the time, that literally, unfortunately, and I go back to that time when the fibroids were tiny, and we could have been having a conversation of how to reverse them if you were being educated about the root cause and how
Right.
to change that. You wouldn't have been dealing with a crisis like this that's affecting you emotionally, it's affecting you relationally, it's affecting you financially. It's
Yes.
also, I see here, in terms of when you look at, how you felt, it had to affect your confidence,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And this is a conversation I have with women all the time.
Definitely. It dictated what outfit I wear.
Mm.
Um, what color of clothing I wear.
Hmm.
The size of the bag that I take, because I have to make sure that I have an extra pad or two or three just in case,
Right.
and an extra change of clothes and underwear just in case.
My God.
Um,
My God.
when you go to events and stuff, either you have a really good friend that's always checking, or you have to go to the bathroom a lot just to check, to
Just,
not be embarrassed.
my God. So this has become your way of living. It's a new normal, right? Again,
Yes,
we talk about how Black women, we literally we live in this new normal because, again, up to 80%, 90% of Black women deal with fibroids by the age of 50. And guess what? We deal with them more symptomatic, larger in size, and more numerous. So with that being the case, of course, we are dealing with more symptomatic, more life debilitating experiences, right?
yes.
So, let's fast forward in your life. And I know that you, again, on your health journey, your health, what did you call it? Your health agenda, what did you call it? For your
I'm a health message.
your health message,
Mhm.
that you went vegetarian in 2016, where things were like, oh my goodness, at this point you had fibroids, the largest, they were, give me a check-in, what were the sizes at that point? The largest was around, I
The
think.
largest was around 15 centimeters
Okay.
at that time.
And there were about how
There was
many?
about three of them.
Okay. And at this point, you're like, I've got to do something, right?
Yes.
And I remember you saying that you were making some changes. What did you do in terms of changes?
Okay, there's a couple of other things. Um, as a
Oh, yeah.
funeral director,
We didn't talk about how they grew to that point, because
right,
they went from like nothing, right, to this like, oh, we're just going to watch them, to
right.
now they're like up to the largest 15. How did we get there? Yeah, back us up
All
there.
right.
Yeah.
So first, there was the birth control,
Mm-hmm.
which is estrogenic, which causes it to grow.
Right.
It wasn't helping. I didn't know it was making it grow, but I knew it wasn't helping the
Right.
situation.
Right.
Um, that was one. There is the carcinogenic um, toxicity that I was dealing with as a funeral director. We know that
You
embalming
had become a,
fluid.
you had become a funeral
I'd
director.
become a funeral director
Okay.
in my second career. Well, I changed career, I became a funeral director. And
And
the
now
embalming
you're dealing
fluid
with embalming fluid that's very
is
toxic.
a known carcinogen,
Mm,
right?
my.
Um,
Okay.
Also, during my vegetarian journey, I was eating a lot of soy,
Mm.
which a lot of it is GMO and it has a xenoestrogen in there,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
which again, we have an estrogen dominance problem. You don't even really want even phytoestrogen
Right.
because you already have an excess in your body.
That's correct.
Um,
I love when the student sounds like a teacher. You go, girl. Yes, girl. Teach,
yeah.
teach it. Love it.
So,
And you have
um,
relational stressors. You just financial stressors.
financial stressors, relational stressors,
Mm-hmm.
carcinogenic toxicity that we're dealing with.
And it
Um,
resulted in them like tripling in size.
they tripled in size.
Mm.
Um, and even with that, I tried what I could try. I was exercising, but you don't know what you don't know. We're
Right.
eating. we're eating foods, but not knowing that some of these even good foods that are for you
Right.
in general, when you have a disease or something you're battling that is dominant in your body, even some good things for other people may not be good for you.
I'm so glad you say that, because that's why we are so intentional about teaching people about how to use food as their medicine, because depending on what your condition is, certain foods are going to drive that condition, right? And not, people think, well, why am I vegan and how am I still having fibroids? But are you eating soy? Are you eating foods that are highly estrogenic, right? Are you
Right.
eating foods that have aromatase that now metabolizes into estrogen that is actually still feeding the fibroids and other inflammatory conditions such as thyroid issues, such as what do you call it, diabetes, such as endometriosis, as well as fibroids and infertility. So I'm glad you bring up that point. But in all of this that was happening, 2017, something really good happened.
Okay, so in 2017, I got married.
Eh, eh, eh.
Yeah, I got married, which was cool. And then I got married in Jamaica. Then I came back to the US. And then my husband came up like 8 months after. Then a couple of months later, I got pregnant. Even though the doctors said that I wouldn't be able to get pregnant because the fibroid was big, or even if I got pregnant, I wouldn't be able to bring the baby.
Wait a minute, back me up here. Hold on a second. A couple months later, after you got married, you got pregnant?
No, a couple months later after my husband came to the country. So I got married. I left Jamaica about 2 months after I got married. And then he was here, let me see, 6 months after that.
Okay. What happens? When did we work together in between?
Okay, we worked together 4 months after I was married.
Okay, so in between. All right, hold on, y'all. So she just literally fast forwarded. Let's back it up for a second. So in 2017, you got married, moved to New York, excuse me, and started to now work on healing your womb. You were like, okay, I was married now. I want to have a baby.
Yes.
So the doctors had told you, you can't have a baby. You can't carry a baby with those fibroids without surgery. That's what they told you, right?
That's what they told me.
Right. And so you said, okay, I'm not listening to them. I'm going to do what I can. And that's when you came to the Hope Beyond Fibroids Elimination, now called her Elimination Program, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that's when I had the pleasure of working with Sasha as your coach, right?
Yes.
And there was a lot going on. I remember in our sessions that you were dealing with very heavy cycle, and I know that through the program, you had a lot of the stressors that had to change, as well as, of course, learning what foods to eat, right? What foods now to be used as your medicine. Talk to us about, number one, what were the changes that you saw in terms of your cycle? Because I know that was really pretty profound.
Okay. So instead of 14 to 21 days, my cycle went down to 8 days with about 4 heavy days. Also, the other great thing was that I was able to stop using ibuprofen, which is important because we want a liver.
That's right. We want a liver.
We want a liver. And I knew that it would affect my liver if I had too much, but there was no way I could, before the program, function without the painkillers during.
Did you even think it was ever possible? Like having a history now.
I knew it was possible because the Bible says it's possible.
Hello.
But I was looking. I didn't know what the combination of herbs were or where the person was, but they said when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Amen. And you guys did appear.
And so, what were the big takeaways for you that really kind of transformed your life in the program?
Okay. One of the biggest one was learning that my saying no may make you sad, but it doesn't make me bad. That's one.
Why was
One
that
of
such an aha for you?
Because I guess being raised in a Christian home, you think that you're supposed to help, and your helping all the time needs to be yes, yes, and that's what a good girl does, and that's what a good Christian, you say yes all the time, which is not true.
That's right.
You don't say yes all the time. You can't say yes, because by saying yes to something for you or for somebody that's asking me, you're actually saying no to something that you might need for yourself.
Say that
And
again, girl.
and Miss Ilyana Van Zant would say, my cup runneth over, but what's in the cup is for me, and what comes out of the cup is for you. But
right.
if my cup can't get full, then I have nothing to give to you.
That's right. That's right. So you were coming from a place of no boundaries, of just yes, 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 and who was the one paying? You were the one.
I was the one paying.
You were the one
with my body.
That's right. That's right. Because what the mind can't contain, all the stressors were down, taking a beating down on your body. The chemical reaction of the stress, right?
Yes.
But put that turn around now, manifests itself in fibroids, as well as, again, the symptoms, the heavy symptoms you were dealing with. Are you looking at the baby?
She's still sleeping.
Okay, I can't wait. Okay. All right. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
There was something else that I did learn during the program, was at some point, during your diet, you decide, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I messed up, and I just started this diet, and it's supposed to be for 30 days, and I messed up on day 1. Okay, I'll start again next month.
Right.
or until it came down. Okay, I'll do next week. And then we adjusted. Okay, I will start again tomorrow, until it moved down to, okay, next meal we'll get back on track.
That's it.
So things that used to take a whole month no longer takes a whole month. It literally is in the power of that decision where you can get back on the trajectory that you need to go.
That's powerful. That means choosing you is something that now it's in your process, your way of living. Like, no, you know what? It's a lifestyle. It's not a race. It's okay if I made a mistake, I'm gonna get right back on, because I'm choosing to feed my health. I'm choosing to prioritize my health. And that is the kind of lifestyle that now it keeps on giving,
Yes.
So I love that. That's why you had the results of your fibroids shrinking. That's why you had the results of your cycle changing. And then what happened now? Because you already put the cat out the bag now. But what happened in 2019?
Okay, so in 2019, I got pregnant.
Now that was within months. How long after your husband moved?
Let me see. It was within months. He moved here July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. We were pregnant about February, March, April. About 8 months. Because when I found out I was pregnant, I was already about 6 weeks pregnant.
So he moved here 8 months afterwards. So basically 8 months after you started the program, you got pregnant?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So tell us about the miracle.
Do you want to know about the pregnancy journey?
Well, tell us, first of all, how did you find out you were pregnant?
Okay, so I went for a hike. Well, the husband and I went for a hike. And then I was just tired. I don't know why I was so tired. I was doing my Shanti before, and I found out like the last about 6 weeks, I was tired. I was on the beta, and when I would review the alpha to double up, I'm like, I'm tired on alpha, and I'm like, what is happening? How am I tired on alpha?
Translation for people who don't.
Okay, alpha is like,
it just means that she was already progressing, and that she was finding herself tired doing the stuff that she was already progressed past, right?
Yes, yes.
Why am I so tired?
Yeah, so
And
alpha is
husband,
like step one,
right.
and beta is step two. So I was already on step two, but I have a day that I double up before my rest day. So on the double up day, I do one from the step one. But I was getting tired and I was wondering what was happening. Why am I tired?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I just thought that maybe I need a little more iron. So a part of my thing that we do for the program is we take the chloroxygen.
Oxygen, right.
So I took
Chlorophyll. Mm-hmm.
we took some more I took some more chlorophyll more
Mm-hmm.
often. I drank some coconut water, trying to get my electrolytes up.
Mm-hmm.
I was eating some mangoes,
Yeah.
I was just trying to get some more energy.
Feeling
I had
food.
some watermelon, the black seeded watermelon, because
Mm-hmm.
that's rich in iron. What was the iron problem? Then my husband noticed that my breasts were getting heavy. I
Husband
didn't
will
notice it,
notice
but
that.
he noticed it. um, I was a little bit irritable and I was always tired. Then I'm like, let me take a pregnancy test. Just take it. I took
What
one.
made you think I might be pregnant though? What made you think that? Because he
I
said
think
about the full breasts.
the full breast, my breast, I'm a full breasted girl. I'm well gifted with my bust area, but it was,
It was beyond.
huh? It was really big, really heavy. Oh, yes. And my mom said I looked pregnant.
Okay. Yeah, moms would do that. And then you're like,
I'm
okay,
like,
now
huh?
it's
I'm
like,
not pregnant. I'm on my period. But really what it was an elimination cycle.
here we go. This is very important to understand because
So,
she was eliminating tissue clots from the throat. She was eliminating pieces of fibroid. She was having elimination cycles, which would happen as you were shedding, breaking down the fibroids, right?
right.
Like, there's no way I could be pregnant. I can't get pregnant while I'm eliminating fibroids. Tell us
Right.
about that, Sasha.
Yes. So, clots and pieces of fibroids would come out. Which I took the test anyway. I took mom says go to the doctor. Well, first I took the one pregnancy test. I got the 2 lines, and then I got another one, got 2 lines again, and then I got the one with the word, and it said pregnant. Then I called the doctor. The doctor gave me the blood work and the urine test, and I took it, and I was pregnant. I had to go to OB. Now at the OB, they kept having me do the HCG test and the blood test again because I was eliminating fibroids at the same time. They didn't know if it was, they didn't know if it was, a miscarriage, which was pretty scary.
Of course,
Um,
I can only
they
imagine.
did, they did a test and they took a piece of the tissue that was breaking down pretty much, or I was eliminating. They tested it, and a week later, which was the longest week of my life,
My
they
God.
told me, they confirmed that it was fibroid tissue,
Wow.
which
So what's fibroid tissue?
it was fibroid tissue.
Making room
Yes,
for
making room for my princess, Nathania. Um, so I went through many challenges throughout the pregnancy.
yes.
Um, there was the many tests. After that,
You were still eliminating for a while, right?
I was eliminated for at least 4 to 5 months out of my pregnancy,
And it was
which
tissue, not baby.
not baby,
Not
which
baby.
is still scary because
Of
you
course it
really
was.
don't know
Because you
until
don't
baby
know.
is big enough where you can feel babies or
Yeah.
hear baby heartbeat. You, you,
Yeah.
you don't know. And the doctors were scared too. So they had me come into the doctor um, twice a week. I was seeing maternal fetal medicine
Yes.
specialist at week 9. I was hospitalized during that time again well, at first I had a bladder infection, needed to drink more water.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, about 2 weeks after that, I was hospitalized because I had a umbilical hernia.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 cysts along with the baby. Then when I thought I was going to leave the hospital, they kept me for 2 more days. Um, they were concerned that the fibroids were growing, and they were concerned that fibroids would outgrow the baby. But we trust in God, so we believe that the fibroid would continue to make room for the baby.
That's what happened, because really, even though didn't they put you on progesterone too?
Not yet. Not at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, keep going.
So they measured my uterus, and they were saying there wouldn't be enough space. They don't know how the baby is going to grow unless the baby grew sideways, transverse, like this. And that is how my baby grew. That was the only way for the space.
Wow.
So she was like that the whole pregnancy.
Wow.
So that was at week 9. After that, then it was a short service.
At week 9, they hospitalized you?
Yes.
Okay. Because you found out you were at week 6 when you found out.
Yes.
Okay.
At week 9, I was hospitalized. After the hospitalization, I was put on bed rest. Then, while on bed rest at about week 19, they realized I had a short cervix, at which they started giving me the progesterone suppositories. This is mostly for females, so I can let you know. You get the progesterone suppositories. They have to give you, well, it's a suppository, put it up in your female area.
Your vagina.
Yes, your vagina. We can say vagina, okay?
Yeah, I love.
You put it in your vagina. And you do that until pretty much it's time for the baby to come out. So what happens, they wanted to make sure that the lining of the uterus was strong enough. It was either that or a cerclage, but I wasn't really a candidate for cerclage because the fibroid was so big, and my baby was underneath it, so I wasn't a candidate. All right, so we had the progesterone.
You were still taking the Essence of Fertility as well.
I was still taking the Essence of Fertility. Then after that, they had me doing these non-stress tests twice a week and ultrasounds once a week. Based on the position of the baby, they did the ultrasound so they could hear the heartbeat, because she was literally like in my pelvis. I was having back aches, and pelvic ache. My hip would hurt.
You were literally cradling her.
Yeah. It was rough, but we knew that the Lord would see us.
We have many prayers,
many
updates. Coach Jesse, this is what's going on. All right, we're praying. All right, we're standing. All right, they do this. Are you eating this? Are you doing this? Remember, a lot of. And then what happened?
And then at 38 weeks, they said they're inducing. They were concerned because they thought that the baby would be underweight. So in the room at the time of her birth, there was the NICU on standby. She's stretching. There's a NICU on standby. There, my husband was there. A couple of my friends were there. There were medical students there.
You had friends in the hospital, in the OR? You had friends with you?
I actually wasn't in the OR because I had a vaginal birth.
Okay, labor and delivery.
Yes, labor and delivery. They came to see me, but it was happening. So I'm like, you guys can sign a disclosure. If you don't want to see a vagina, you can turn your back or leave, but this is happening right now. So luckily, or thankfully, the baby did not need to go into the NICU. We didn't need them. There was a lot of students there because they have never seen the hospital, the maternal fetal medicine specialists, the doctors, the nurses. They've never seen someone carry a baby to full term and do a vaginal delivery with fibroids the size that they were, because at this point the fibroids were off the charts. Because of the progesterone.
Wow. And the progesterone they were giving you. Right, right, right. The
Yes,
synthetic progesterone. Let me be
the
clear.
synthetic.
Natural
Yes,
progesterone is not the problem. It was the
right.
synthetic
The
progesterone.
synthetic progesterone.
So you deliver, and what else happened on the delivery?
Okay, so um, at the delivery, her the first thing is she's okay. They said my
How
placenta.
old she was? How about me? And I
Oh,
how high is
she
she?
was 5 pounds, 12 ounces,
Perfect.
18 inches,
Perfect.
and
Perfect.
she scored a 9 out of 10 on her APGAR test,
Guard test.
which was very good.
Excellent.
And her placenta was very healthy. They were looking at it inside out, washing it. I didn't know all of this. I got this between the husband and the friend after.
What
I'm
is it
like, what
about
is it
the
about this
placenta?
placenta? Her umbilical cord was short, but it was very wide.
Wow.
So that was good.
You think she knew
Then
what you received?
they took this blood test um, right after she was born, or the next day, because I think in Pennsylvania where I am, they have to take it for newborn to check for different kind of diseases. So they called me day 5 and they said, "Oh, we need you to go to the lab right away to confirm the diagnosis that your daughter has." This was a voice message that your daughter has hypothyroidism, and
Hmm.
go to the pharmacy to pick up the medication. So in
Hmm.
my head, I am like,
Mm-mm.
well, if
Yep.
I'm confirming the diagnosis, why
Hmm.
am I picking up the medication? What am I getting the medication for?
Mm-mm.
Went online. Luckily, our electric doctors were having a
Mm-hmm.
Q&A, or their first.
I remember Dr. Armun told me you asked him the question, and you
Yes,
had texted me too. Hold on,
yes,
why is estrogen dominance bothering my baby? I remember that. Again,
yes. I
educated Black woman, watch out.
I, I did. And I asked the doctor, I'm like, well, if you're confirming diagnosis, what exactly is the medication at the hospital? What is the medication at the pharmacy for, and who is it for?
Hmm.
If you have to confirm, it means you're not sure, right?
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
they're like, oh, just to be sure, because if she has hyperthyroidism, then she could be a little bit retarded, and we just want to be sure. And I'm like, so you don't want to make sure that you have the diagnosis
Before
correct
start
before
taking this
you
medicine.
give her the medication? No, no. We want to make sure. You got to be aggressive with it. Okay, 5 days later, her doctor called me. Are you gonna pick up the medication? Okay, I'll go pick up the medication. I called you and told you,
This is what they're trying to put her on.
yeah, this is
And
what they're trying to put her
what were they trying to put her
on levothyroxine
on?
for
Levothyroxine
100 milligrams, which is the same dosage as my grandmother, which
for an
makes no
adult.
sense.
An adult.
We,
They were giving her
yes,
the dosage of an adult
we
for a
went
newborn
to the
baby.
pharmacy, and the pharmacist was like, this is for a newborn. You just had a baby. This dosage too high. So they called the doctor, and
Mm,
the doctor cut it down to
25.
50 milligrams.
Okay.
50.
Mm-mm-mm.
Then I did some more research. After talking to the doctors, they talk about the TSH levels and T4 free, and saying it's a ratio and don't do it. And they told me to take extra doses of the essence and give
Right.
her the breast milk, and she will be better.
We're nursing, so we knew that increasing the dosage of essence, which has bladder which actually stimulates, it actually stimulates the thyroid gland more. Okay, it hyperstimulates it. That we knew she would get that through your breast milk.
Yeah. So we went to the doctor. They wanted to put her on this medication, and then the endocrinologist um, would not even be able to see her until a month and a half later. So I'm like, I'm just supposed to give my child this
Yeah.
medication blindly.
Mm.
So I told the pediatrician that you need to get a closer thing, because I need to talk to her before I decide whether or not to give her this medication. So she got me an appointment for a week later. When we went to the appointment, she said that I asked what the numbers were, because they just said it was high. They didn't give me the actual numbers. So when my daughter was born, her TSH level was 65. In my research, I realized that when children are born, it's really high because of stress of birth and everything, but then it goes down. So we went to the lab, a week after to do the lab for her blood work to get the new levels. Turns out the blood work said 9.6. This is before I picked up the medication.
My goodness.
9.6.
My goodness.
Do you know the range for it is up to a 9, which means it's only 0.6, which means she's only borderline. And this lady, there are dosage as low as 12.5. She did not even give her the lowest dosage, being that she was only borderline. She still gave her the highest dosage for a child. And I'm like, why would you do that? I asked her about the
mama. Do not mess with the educated mama, boy.
I asked her about the risk, because of course you give me something from a pharmacy. I am reading everything.
Right.
This thing would possibly cause her they call it the soft spot to take longer to harden. Also, it could throw off her fertility. Now, me being estrogen dominant, I am definitely not gonna give my child anything that's gonna throw off her fertility.
Right.
When she's 5 days old.
My goodness.
So I asked, what is the synthetic? I said, I know you are allopathic doctor, but what is the synthetic, what do you call it? Synthetic, not remembering.
Who are you talking to at this point?
Huh?
Who are you talking to? You were saying you're asking, who are you asking this?
I asked endocrinologist.
Right. Okay.
What is this medication gonna do? She said there's no side effects and that the body will just get rid of it. Well, I said there has to be a side effect, because if she is hypothyroid, if she has hypothyroidism and she doesn't need all this medication, she takes all of it, what's going to happen is that it's going to bring down her TSH level, which is going to bring her into hypothyroidism.
Hyper.
And when it does that, what you guys are doing is that eventually you now diagnose the children with ADHD, and then you said the child needs to go on Ritalin, which is what is happening. I think a lot of time right now, why all these children are on Ritalin, they're fine.
I wonder how many babies have gone through this, but thank God you had that information, that education that said, wait a minute, hold on a second. It affected your whole way of parenting from day one. You know, you were like, wait a minute, I'm not about to give and you asked questions and you advocated for yourself and you advocated for Nathania. And you said, hold on a second, if I do this, now you know, wait a minute, what are you telling me there are no side effects? That's not true. And then you looked it up, you talked to us. That is so profound, because it has changed literally the trajectory now of course, you and the way your community, your family, but Nathania and the generation that follows. That's so powerful to me, you know, because how many people would have just taken that medication, given it to the baby, and like you said, then it would have taken the baby from one swing of hypothyroidism to hyperthyroidism, because it was way too much for the baby to handle, right? And then now they're going to be diagnosed with ADHD later on. How many of our kids do deal with that? How many of our kids?
Then the other thing is that the doctors don't try to give the lowest dosage. Then I negotiated with her. So I said, you need to, if you're going to give her any, you need to give her 12.5, because that's the lowest dosage. And she's only borderline. She's like, oh, I'd rather go 25 to be safe than sorry. So I took the tablets and I filled it, because I don't want them taking my baby. I don't know. This is a commonwealth. I took the tablets, and then a month and a half later, I told you, I still didn't open the tablets, but I'm like, I'm going to go clean with the doctor and tell her. My husband's like, you should just wait till she's about 3. I looked on the insurance. I'm like, we're paying for this. And every time we do a lab, it's almost $300. And we're supposed to go see this lady again. We're not paying $300 for nothing.
Right.
So we're doing the lab only to find out that her levels are normal. We still have the pills stapled. And she's like,
I love it. And what he did was, you know, again, using what we know, the herbs, the holistic remedies. Thank God, you know, Dr. Arman was available that day. God's faithfulness that you had that moment to talk to him that specific day. And I remember when you called me, we were like, look, let's get on this right away. Sasha just had this baby. We need to make sure this is the dosage. I remember having that conversation. I said, this is crazy. This is crazy that they're trying to have the baby take this. No, we were like, no. He was like, no, have her do it through the breast milk. Have her take the increased dosage of the essence, which was called Essence of Fertility, Essence now. And here Nathania's levels are what again?
They are now normal.
Perfectly normal.
So she says this is after the second blood test. She's within the normal limit. So this is why I told the doctor, you see, she didn't need it. It's like, oh, I need another blood test. You know what? We did the other blood test. And I said, this is the last time I'm doing a blood test.
Right.
And it came out normal. Then the endocrinologist leaves a message on my phone. Oh, it's okay for you to not continue the medication. Oh, we didn't open the bag.
So glad.
You're not continuing the medication.
Listen, woman.
So she's saying, but we need another test again. She's not getting another test, especially not in this COVID crisis. My child will not be going to any labs or hospital to get any tests. How many tests do you need to say negative? No, thank you.
No, I love it. All you need right now is that Black Power cap. You know that
the Pink Panther,
the beret, and you like no.
No.
I love it. You are woke. You are a woke woman, a woke mommy. I love it. And see, this is why we do what we do. You know, first of all, we got to bring Nathania on so that we can introduce the world to this gorgeous miracle hope baby. Hey, mommy.
Hold on, Daddy, I need a wipe.
Oh, this is mommy's. Mommy's always take the drool away. Listen, she's a baby. She's allowed to have all that. She just took a nap.
I know. But mommy gotta make sure you dialed up for the whole world to see.
Oh,
oh, are you ready to see Auntie Jessie now?
Are you ready? So gorgeous.
Oh, baby. Look.
Oh my.
Hey, hello.
Hello, perfect. Hello, beautiful.
She's looking.
Hello, beautiful.
Can you see her? Can you see her?
Hello.
Oh, she smiles.
Just for you, y'all. She smiled. I'm so excited. Yes. See, and this is so powerful because people, you know, I feel like I don't work. I feel like, yes, I am working, but you know what? I feel like this is such a gift that everything I went through was able to help bring this to life. It makes me overwhelmed. It really does. And I am just so grateful for the opportunity to have been a part of this miracle. I can't.
Thank you.
I can't.
Thank you. And also with the program, we didn't talk about the foods. How I create
foods. Yes.
I create. I'm Jamaican again, so I use things from the food to replace things that are fun and things that are close to me that I like. Like I bake stuff. You know, you can make your own.
Right. Look out for her line of foods.
Yes. Yes, you can make your own cheese. You can make your own breads. You can make your own.
When you become educated about what ingredients heal.
Yes. Also, a lot of the times it's not that you're alert. You are addicted to, you know, if you're Jamaican, like a red herring. You like what it is. You like the smoky flavor. So let me just throw something there. If you get some smoked paprika and you do up some lentils and put some in there, you'll get that same flavor.
Look at that. Look at that.
So that's just a little nugget.
Follow her. She's courageous_Sasha on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Did I say that right? Courageous.
That's it.
Sasha. Watch out, because I've tasted her cheese and her bread. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
What I love about that is that a healing revolution, it takes that knowledge and that power of saying, what can I do? What's in my power? You know, and it started off with you saying, I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose my health, right? I'm going to
Yes.
choose my health. And then saying, okay, I need to learn about what foods actually heal, about estrogen dominance. And now, because you understand about estrogen dominance and how it's connected to so many inflammatory conditions like thyroidism, hyperthyroidism, right? And how
Yes.
it allowed you to now protect your baby as well
Yes.
as yourself, you know, that's so powerful.
Especially for her, because I want the foods to be not only good for you. There's a lot of food that's good for you, but it don't taste good.
That's
I
right.
want it to taste good,
That's right.
look good, and be good for you.
That's right. That's right. And that the truth is, like you said, when you become educated about it, and because you are creative in the kitchen, that for you, you're like, I can do this and I can mix up this with this and this. I remember the first time I made the sushi rolls, it was on FaceTime with you. And you're like,
Yes.
okay, do this and do this. I was like, oh, I'm addicted now. And I love it. It is literally one of my go-tos any minute, anytime I could eat that because it's so delicious.
Yes.
And it's all good for you. I
Quick.
mean, it is
Yes.
absolutely healing.
It's
So,
fun and it's cute. I mean, you could throw it up for a nice little party.
mhm.
It's cool.
That's right. And people could be like, wait a minute, that tastes good. Hold on a second. What is that? And that was good for me. I don't feel sleepy afterwards. I don't have bloating afterwards. I don't
Yes.
have constipation afterwards. The people not understanding all these things are actually slowing down your body's digestive system, which is a very critical part of your body healing, right? And
Yes.
and detoxifying itself and protecting it from breaking down to all these inflammatory conditions. So Sasha and Nathania, it has been such a powerful time of a conversation with you. I'm so blessed to have been a part of this and excited that really this is being paid forward already. This
Yes.
didn't just affect you, but affect the next generation. And of course, your community of people. What a blessing.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
Anything you want to say to people who may be going through and considering, this lifestyle, this program, anything you want to leave them with?
Definitely you should try the program. Give yourself a chance. Um, this is not a 1 week, 1 month program. It's not a get fixed quick. It's a lifestyle. It's a process. You're not going to do something for 30, 40, 50 years for some of you and just immediately overnight believe that you're going to flip a switch.
Mm.
However, you educate yourself, you get together with some great sisters if you do the program. But if you can't, you start where you can. You
That's right.
know, you can start at the free list.
That's
If
right.
you have no money right now, just start making small changes. You can start at the free teleseminar.
Mhm.
If you have a little bit more money, you get a detox program, and you start. If it's even detox, commit to detox once every 3 months. And then
That's where
you
you
increase
can.
it from there. If you can do the program, you get together with some great. Most of them were female. Some
Mhm.
great female who it's a space where you are free to be honest and be open and said, hey, I'm having a struggle with this. This is what is happening. This is how my day went. This is how my week went. And it's no judgment. It's just where we are. And you might be able to get some insights from your coach or from your sisters on, okay, um, set your sail this way, because your life is determined. The winds of life are going to blow regardless of what happens. You can't control the wind. A lot of us, we try to rail against the wind and try to fight the wind. Don't try to fight the wind. Set your sail in the right position and you can ride that wind. And coaching and coaches are great sail setters. They are excellent at teaching you how to set your sail so you can make the best of the wind that's blowing in your life.
That's awesome. Well, I hope I helped to set your sail the right way.
Thank you. Yes, you did.
Well, I love you. And Nathania, Auntie loves you. Give her a kiss for me, please.
Mwah. Mwah.
What an
Auntie.
honor. What a blessing. And I'm excited for people to hear your testimony and encourage others who are going through. You take care and you be blessed.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Take care.